Hey guys, this is Wright Hear News coming at you right now, and today we are at the Culberson County Courthouse. We are here for a commissioners meeting, and I believe there's a gentleman speaking about the big bend wall that they're going to build. So I just want to be here to kind of finish up after the town hall. I don't know how many people are going to be here, so we are going to go inside and try to sign up for citizens to be heard. I know they don't like too many people signing up for citizens to be heard, but we're gonna give it a try and see if they let us get on there for today. So hang in there, guys. We're gonna go see what's going on. Thank you, everybody. If you could please like and subscribe. I am trying to get 1,000 subscribers. So let's go check it out.
No problem. You want to speak as well?
Yes. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go follow y'all in there. Okay, guys, so they said that they are gonna let us speak.
How are you this morning? Billy Barco.
Hi, I'm Jessica Barker. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Reeves, how are you doing, sir? I was wanting to sign up as well for citizens to be heard.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you, man. Okay, so guys, it looks like you do not have to sign up 2 days. The judge has graciously allowed us to speak.
You're welcome.
Mr. Franco, how are you doing, sir?
Good.
Do you have a moment to speak to me after the meeting?
I might be able to.
Okay,
Can't
thank
promise
you, sir.
anything on that.
All right, that's fine, sir. But yeah, thank you, sir. Mr. Norman, hey, sir, I'm still waiting for you to reach out to me. You think this week you'll have time to meet?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be waiting for your call to reach out, sir. Can I take a picture of it? I was looking at the agenda and I didn't remember seeing that on there.
Monday, May 11th, 2026, is 10:07. This meeting is now called to order. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for our help. We thank you for all that you have done for this county and all its residents. We ask that you continue to guide this court in our deliberations and let the decisions made here today be for the betterment of those that we do represent. Continue prayers for all individuals serving in the military and all our first responders. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are one, we are all responsible on time. 96, public comment. First one up is Devon.
Hello, thank you, commissioners, for allowing me to speak today. So I do want to speak on number 22, Jackie H. Baker as a constable, appointing him. So I've heard a rumor that y'all were going to try to do this, or that this was in the works, that this was going to happen. I have been trying for 5 months to reach the sheriff to file a complaint on Jackie Baker, and the sheriff has been extremely unwilling to be both available and wanting to take this complaint. So I would really ask everybody here to not appoint Jack Baker as a constable until after reviewing the complaint. I do have a complaint copy in my car, and I want to give each constable a copy of that so they can accurately review that. Jack has had many complaints on from the citizens here in Van Horn, and the sheriff's not willing or able to correct Jackie's behavior. So I want all the commissioners to please be serious about this and do what's right for the community and actually review if Jackie Baker is the correct person for this. Secondly, I have been trying to reach the sheriff for 5 months, and I know that the commissioners, y'all are not directly in charge of the sheriff, but I think some of the reasons why the sheriff is not being able to reach out to me is I'm being told the sheriff works out of state near Orla as a security guard officer. And I know, like I said, y'all are not the boss of him, but I'm being told that he is using the county vehicle to travel back and forth from Orla to Van Horn and also to Odessa. So I would like for you guys to please review his budget and stop approving so many vehicles for him. I saw the sheriff driving a brand new vehicle the other day, and I think he uses that vehicle without badging for the direct purpose of traveling back and forth to his side job. And as everybody knows, being a sheriff is a full-time position, so I don't know how the sheriff is taking time to travel back and forth while still maintaining sheriff operations here, because it seems like the sheriff is struggling massively as far as keeping his officers in line and doing his job properly. So I'd like everybody to please review that and find out where exactly the sheriff is working, and hopefully y'all give a transparent answer back to the citizens in Van Horn. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
Next is Jessica. Martha?
Hi, thank you guys.
You bet.
I'm gonna speak on the presentation, about the man camp. I live in Terlingua, Texas, so this will greatly affect, this entire region, my business specifically. And I just really wanna say that any elected official, contractor, or private company that supports building a massive man camp in far west Texas for border wall construction needs to really understand exactly what they are bringing into this region. This is not temporary progress, it is permanent destruction. You're talking about placing an industrial workforce camp in a remote, resource-strained, and environmentally fragile region in America, and all to support a border wall project that all local communities have repeatedly opposed. A man camp of this scale would increase heavy truck traffic across rural roads, never designed for this kind of industrial use. It would strain emergency services, housing, law enforcement, and infrastructure in communities that are already operating with limited resources. And history has shown communities exactly what often follows large temporary industrial camps. It increases in assaults, harassment, violent crime, drug trafficking, and human trafficking. That is documented reality from boomtowns and industrial camps across the country. The people making these decisions may not live here, but we do. And we are the ones who will deal with the traffic, the noise, the pressure on local resources, and the fear that comes with dropping hundreds of transient workers into small rural communities that are not built to absorb them. All of this destruction is tied directly to a border wall project that will permanently scar the Big Bend region itself. And once the damage is done, there is no undoing it. The desert ecosystems do not quickly recover. Scarred land remains scarred for generations. Communities change permanently, tourism declines, wildlife disappears, the character of the region is lost, piece by piece, until people barely recognize this place anymore. So let's be honest about what this really is. A man camp is not just for housing workers. It is the opening act of a project that would transform one of the most iconic landscapes in Texas into an industrialized border zone. And history will remember who allowed it to happen. Your legacy will be stained forever as those who were for this border wall, those who allowed these man camps in, and those who destroyed Big Bend forever. As your prayer said, you are here for the betterment of your people. And approving this man camp, I assure you, is not. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Billy Mark.
Yes. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak here today. Just with my wife, we own a business together in Terlingua, and any kind of advancement on any border wall project would devastate our tourism economy in Brewster County. I would like to bring up a couple of facts that it's kind of a misnomer that private land has private rights and privileges, and as a private landowner who does development, that's not always true. As we know, septic systems, water, wastewater discharge, drinking water systems are all regulated by the TECQ. So I would ask that any projects that go forward be mandated and actually be in compliance with those regulations. And guys, I would just ask you guys to actually ask yourself who benefits and how do they benefit and who loses. I know we're not in Brewster County. Brewster County's tourism economy is about $65 million a year, and that will be devastated by just lighting up even a wall through this area on the border. And so there's lots at stake. Please keep that in mind. It's very, very personal to us, obviously, and it's sensitive. But the betterment is for protecting dark skies, protecting the river, protecting our ecosystems. We would kindly ask you guys today to keep all of those thoughts in your decision-making process.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Peter. Next is
stand over here so I don't yell in you guys' ear. So, I own a home in Alpine, and I live in Redford. But I am a psychologist, I think the only psychologist out here in the Big Bend. I've been practicing for 30 years. I'm also licensed to do telehealth in 43 states. I'm retired from the state as a tenured professor, and I continue to have a private practice out here for the past 10 years, including doing the law enforcement testing for the agencies out here. So what I wanted to talk about was the psychological impact, as some folks have touched on, and I don't want to repeat what you all have said, it stands for itself. But I do specialize in chronic and long-term trauma, and that is going to be the end result of all this for this community and for the greater Big Bend. We talked about the environmental stressors, and we have all that live out here have become accustomed to living in scarcity, you know, water, food, all of those things, and that's the norm for us. But having someone else come in and build a man camp to support building of the border wall is going to put us even more in a scarcity mode. There are limited resources out here, and what happens is that when we go from surviving as best we can and thriving, and we add additional bodies and stressors on the environment and our resources, we go back into survival mode. And the research is really strong, talking about what happens to humans when we are in survival mode. Some of this research comes from people who live in poverty, and it is very clearly documented that folks will function at 15 points lower in terms of their IQ, which is a whole standard deviation. Don't have time to explain that, but it's a whole hell of a lot of decrease in our cognitive functioning because we are in survival mode. And when we are in survival mode, we are more prone to trauma, right? And this is going to be a huge stressor for our community. And the boom may seem like, oh, there's more money, there's more this, there's more that, but it's not going to last, as we have seen in the boom of the oil and gas industry. And every time we go boom and bust, that is a stressor on we as humans, on the environment, on our communities, especially for the most vulnerable people, children, youth, women, elderly, and other marginalized or minority communities. And so over time, and this may have already happened out here because we have different stressors, environmental stressors, floods, things like that, that it is going to basically change. The term for it is epigenetics. With every stressor, we have changes to our genes. And those changes are not usually that great and make us more vulnerable to stressors, trauma, and chronic stress. So, what else shall I say about that? And over time, when we go through these cycles of boom and bust, of adaptation and stress response, we can burn out our systems and feel exhausted and not be able to respond to changes in our environment. So it diminishes or lowers our capacity as a community to even just live and survive. And I think you all already spoke to this, but the capacity for medical and mental health support services are already stressed out here. We know that. We live that every day. I get calls from judges. What do we do with this individual? From law enforcement. I see them in my practice. I talk to Permia Care. And now we're going to add more folks, and folks that are going to aggravate the situation by all the things that Jessica was talking about, the violence, the traffic, the stressors on our environment. So it is going to be calamitous. We may not see it right away. I think we will. but the long-term effects will last for generations. Lastly, I wanted to read a, oh shoot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I
Thank
didn't know
you.
I talked that long. Thank you for your attention.
Yolanda.
Hi guys,
Hi.
I know you all know me, but I'm Yolanda Alvarado, for the record, fifth generation cattle rancher who will be completely, my life will be disrupted by a man camp or build altogether. I'm part-time in Valentine, I travel on the 90 daily, and up and down that road where the build would be. But I do wanna share a letter from, we had a geological survey done in that area about 4 years ago when they were looking for oil. And I want to share it with you today. It's from Magnet Geological, and it is stressing the high concerns of flood risk in that area. I will email you all a copy, but I do want to make sure where this man camp is, if it's in a floodplain, and that would, again, emergency services, all of the above, and then also this geologist, shares that he predicts about a year of the wall being there for it to come down with the high velocity flash floods that happen along that mountain. So I want to talk on the long-term consequences on that, and also what that will take from our resources here in town. You know, this might be one build now, 500 man camp now, but cleaning up the mess long-term when this comes is also going to affect us and our resources. And I do want to share that they're already pumping hundreds of thousands of gallons of water a day from a well off of 2017. It's on Jim Dyer's property. He is selling them commercial water from, I believe, an agricultural pump. So water is already coming out of our groundwater system. And so I'm asking that you require groundwater surveys for any new construction or build for long term, because we do not know how this is going to affect us, but this is a way of saving our community in the future. If we do have any more droughts in this area, this water loss would be detrimental on our town here. On top of that, again, emergency services, but I want you to stress to these people doing a presentation that I'm a mother of 2 children, that a bus comes from Van Horn to Valentine every single morning with kids. And so following speed limits and protecting them should be a high priority. I travel alone with my kids all the time up and down those roads, and from previous construction, I mean, I've lost my life many times from them driving recklessly and not having people out there, or signage, speed limits, and it's asking a lot out of our sheriffs. It's asking a lot from DPS and our emergency services. So they are already out there. There's been misconception in the news that Big Bend Walls stopped, and that's not true. They're already working on it. They're already on the ranch, and so we need your help today. This isn't just a presentation. Like it's already going on. But I appreciate your time. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything, and I know you're all aware of that. But yeah, the long-term plan, if a man camp comes, will highly affect all of us, not just me or the ranchers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Micah?
Hi, I'm Micah Warriors, and I live also in Terlingua, and I pretty much second everything that all my friends and neighbors here have already said. I guess I would also like, let's see. I guess one additional point I'd like to make is that this wall isn't going to solve any problem that this administration's trying to address. The few immigrants that cross here are going to pale in comparison to the crime we're going to see from man camps. And hold on, I think, and also from a friend of mine who couldn't be here, he was saying that, you know, for this presentation that's about to happen, we should be able to make comments after the presentation instead of before, so we could better address our concerns to this guy that's building a man camp. Please allow the citizens in this room the opportunity to question the facts you're about to present after your conclusion. Our lives, livelihoods, and ranches depend on what happens here. The future of the Rio Grande hangs in the balance. Please allow Rio and its citizens who live alongside it to have a voice with questions answered truthfully. Can I yield my time anymore? Did you get in?
No.
Oh.
And thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Jennifer?
Hi, yes, thank you for allowing me the chance to speak. My name is Jennifer Simon. I split my time between far west Texas and Terlingua and in the northeast along our Canadian border. So I am very familiar with what's happening across our nation in rural communities and larger government, private business coming in to sort of steer the narrative, sometimes offering jobs, sometimes offering new wells, sometimes offering road improvements, funding of police, funding of schools, and it's a very slippery slope. Many communities like yourselves are facing the same challenges. How do we keep our taxes down? How do we get the things that we need for our people? How do we allow growth and development? But it is an ethical, it is a moral question that you and your communities will have to decide. Will you do the right thing to protect and steward the land in the community for your people? So yes, we have traveled very far to let you know. You have friends everywhere up and down the Rio Grande. People are uniting. We are not saying we don't want border security. We want border security. We want the right tool for the right job. And what happens upstream will ultimately affect downstream and the people along this river that have been here for a millennial, right? And we have talked extensively about these the man camps and what they can bring. And just in case no one has seen this morning, gentleman, 41-year-old male, looking for a lady friend in Van Horn. They're already looking for the ladies, and far be it from me to deny anybody love. But this is one of what's going to come. And what happens when you have a high population of people and you don't have medical resources. Maybe someone can tell me, how many SANE nurses do you have? I'm a registered nurse. SANE nurses are hard to come by. What kind of infrastructure do you have for sheriffs? Speaking of our sheriffs, right? Your local sheriff has stood with the other 5 sheriffs to say this is not the right decision. Are we listening to them? We drove by Route 1523 Lobo there, and we could see the mass amount of destruction and the environment and the plumes. It was pretty sad. But you guys are a gateway. You have an opportunity to do the right thing and ask the right questions and have accountability for the plans, not just what's going into it, but also after. What will happen to those buildings after? What will happen if we don't have enough water? Who will maintain those things? Will they be a blight in your community? So, thank you so much for allowing me to
Thank
speak.
you. Thank you so much. Michelle Lamont.
My name is Michelle Lamond. I live in Lobo. I live 1 mile from where this is going on, number one. Yeah. Number one, we need to distinguish between the difference of Lobo and the 800-man camp coming in north of town, according to our sheriff when he spoke at the public meeting. I have spoken to the project director for Bernard. I have spoken to the HR. He is director for HR of Bernard. I have spoken to Frontier, the people that are out there also working. There's going to be management on site. These are RV spots. And when they leave, it is going to be up to the owner of the land that they're leasing from, whether or not they want to keep the infrastructure. It's their choice. Whatever deal they have worked out, it is their choice. This is a temporary project. The sheriff The sheriff said that, at the public meeting, that there was a gentleman from Midland that was arrested stealing a car from Pilot. And they had to chase him down on I-10, and he said he was from one of the workers down here. No, he wasn't. I was on the phone the next morning. He was run through everybody's database from Frontier, Bernard, everybody else. He was not one of the workers from down there. I have also spoken to several people considering the crime rate, and in these, you can't compare the two companies. Okay, you have to go on this company. Like I said, they have on-site management. They realize that RV spots and things are gonna be very, very tight up here in Van Horn. And as somebody who ran an RV park in Van Horn, who had a waiting list, I can tell you that housing is going to be a little difficult. It's gonna be a little easier now that Bezos has pulled out some of his people, if they're gonna be willing to rent to these folks. But they're putting the sites down there, and it's going to be monitored. And Jason Harsh has also told me if he has any issues with any of these guys, they're gone. They are not here, they're not playing games. And Jared, who's from HR, said these guys are gonna be working 6-7 days a week, which they are. They are working 6 and 7 days a week. These are not your typical man camps that's going in. And I can say this from experience because I had issues at the RV park. And unless you've run a park and you've had to deal with them. So it's a little different. They have a little bit tighter control. They have, they're not gonna play, number one. This is a government contract. You mess with it, you're in trouble, from what I've been told. Now, as far as the aquifers going on down there, there's gonna be a meeting on that in a few days, next week. Or maybe, well, today's the 11th, so it'll be this week, it'll be in a few days. And the water district has control of that. And they will determine at that point in time whether or not. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% for this, but I am saying you have to be able to distinguish between your feelings and the facts. And the dust that's flying up down there, we are surrounded by fields. I'm a mile from it. You know that. You're my commissioner. I'm a mile from it. When they get out there plowing, I have so much dust that I have to close my windows and turn on an air conditioner. Now, should we tell everybody they can't do cotton, they can't do hay, they can't do peppers because of the dust or the stripping of the land? People have said, well, you don't know what they're stirring up in the dust. Yes, we do. It's pesticides, it's herbicides, it's the foliage, because it's killing off my gardens when it comes up. Nobody's hollering about that. And if you're gonna impose these type of restrictions on this RV park, we might need to look at the man camps going in other areas in Culberson County. Do we stop them too? They're right.
Yes.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. Judge Arias, I didn't get a chance to sign up. Could you make an exception? I'm a taxpayer in the district. I was 7 minutes late. I came from Sierra Blanca. But I pay taxes to the school district, Alamo district.
No, we're under strict rules.
Huh? I wish you could make an exception. Thank you.
You bet. Okay, we have a first presentation by Luke Liberty. Liberty. Are we set? You know?
Yeah, I'm here online. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Luke Liberty. I'm with Cushing Terrell Engineers. And I appreciate the time that you've all given me today for this presentation. I apologize to those in the room for joining late. We had some trouble with the Zoom link like I missed some concerns and comments from folks, and I'll do my best with my presentation to address some information, but I'm guessing I won't be able to address all of your concerns, but certainly I hope to provide some information to the commissioners and to the judge that will answer some questions. I do have a presentation, and it's not letting me share, so I just sent a request if there's a way to approve that so that I can share my presentation. If not, then I will do it without the screen share.
We allow it. Is it working?
Oh, let me try again. Oh, yep, now it's working. Okay, 1 second. Okay, can you see the screen share now?
Yes.
Okay. Is it on the, okay, perfect. All right, so, yeah, my intent is really just to go through some basic information here. And the objective is to present the commission with information about this workforce housing that's going in south of Van Horn, or that we're hoping to develop south of Van Horn, and find out the process for the development permit, coordinate with the floodplain coordinator, and then make sure we're in regulatory alignment so that anything we develop there is following the proper procedures. Project overview and scope. So right now we're planning on about 500 pads. This is a temporary workforce and will be there for approximately 24 months to support regional labor needs. I'll show a site layout here in a second, but our intent is to have a minimal impact on the actual property that's there. All of the construction will be mobile, with the exception of one centralized water treatment facility, which TC requires to have a foundation. So that will be there, and then obviously at the landowner's request, at the conclusion of the project, that will be removed unless the landowner elects to keep it. So here's our proposed site layout, which, once we have the development permit application, we will provide more details on. We're still in the early stages of the actual layout and development design engineering of this, but we are working on the water system, wastewater system. I'll give a little bit more details on the next couple slides for those. We have 2 access points here to the south coming off of a state road. We're working already with Texas DOT on getting approved access from that state road. They have very strict access requirements that we have to follow. Similar to water and wastewater, we have to make sure that once we access the state highway, we are following their requirements. And then centralized utilities. So all of these RV pads will be served from a wastewater plant or a water treatment plant, and then centralized wastewater for collection. Important for me to mention that all of the systems that we design will be designed to meet or exceed local and state requirements. We're not anticipating or not trying to get around any of those requirements. Our water supply will be coming from a well that's currently on the property. We've already tested that well, and it has very good water. It's coming from an aquifer that also has a very good supply. We've done a 24-hour water test, and the aquifer has proven that it can sustain at the pumping rate that we anticipate. We are actively collaborating with the Groundwater Conservation District for approval to use that well, and have a meeting coming up later this week to discuss that. And we will meet with TCEQ to make sure that we're following their requirements for filtration and treatment, planning right now on a simple chlorination treatment before we serve the workforce housing, yeah. Waste management, right now, we're planning on a lagoon system to the north of that site layout that I showed. Again, ongoing coordination with the Environmental Quality Department. And we will have a certified operator to make sure that we are maintaining proper system performance and environmental safety with our wastewater system. And stormwater, I know, is important. We'll have a system of detention ponds or retention ponds as necessary, and all of our stormwater management will be engineered to ensure that any flows that leave the site will match pre-development historical flows, and will be sized to handle the 50-year and 100-year storms as is required by DCEQ and Texas DOT. I mentioned we're coordinating with TCEQ and Texas DOT. We've got ongoing communication with them, but both of those are in pretty early stages because we are still working on the design and layout for the man camp. So next stages for us really is to work with the county to make sure that we're complying. I've talked with a couple of the commissioners already, and it's important to us that we follow the county guidelines, requirements, and processes. So that's really why I'm here today, is to make sure that I get a hold of any required development permit and to coordinate with the floodplain administrator. We're already in the process of getting a 911 address, which will ensure that we have proper EMS addresses for responses as needed. So that's really what I came here to present, and I'm happy to attempt to answer any questions if the commissioners have any. But if you could direct me or point me in the right direction to get this development application, that's I believe the next step, because I want to make sure that we're in compliance. So are there any questions for me?
Thank you so much, Luke, for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
As for permitting, the county requires that you adhere to state standards. And we have nothing local that you need to apply for, unless it's with TCEQ and or anyone else. Maybe the water district, I'm not sure about that. But the floodplain, you'll be working with my office regarding that. And we'll provide you a floodplain map and whatnot.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, we're aware of where the flood zone A and flood zone C boundary is,
Okay.
and we're not anticipating any disruption to flood zone A. So we're planning to stay completely out of that. But I will certainly work with your office to make sure that we have that map, and any documentation that you need from us, we'll get it to you.
Okay. Commissioners, anything?
Mr. Luke, I got a question for you, two actually. Are the RVs gonna be provided by your company, or they're individually gonna bring their own if they get hired onto your job?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that for you. I'm just the engineer, not the contractor, so I'm not sure. My client hasn't given me permission to discuss any of that, and so I don't know how they're providing RVs for the workforce house, or for the workers that are coming.
Okay, and then another one, you're building it for 500 people. Is it gonna be occupied by 500, or just kinda leaving open space for more?
Yeah, good question. The water and wastewater systems will be designed to handle a maximum of 500 people. I don't know the phasing in terms of how many will be there at any one time. We do have some offices on site, and we're planning for, some community facilities like laundry, potentially some bathrooms, and maybe like a rec facility. But I don't know in terms of the client's plan for the actual workforce, when they will be there, how many will be there at one particular time. But from an engineering perspective, we are planning to meet the requirements for a full 500 employees at any given time.
Also, I suppose if it does get built, you're gonna be the yard, camp, whatever, from point A to point B all across the border, so from beginning to end on this project, they'll be housed here?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that either. For this one, it's 500 people, and I'm not even sure where exactly they're going to be working. You know, which direction they're going to be traveling. We do have some initial traffic impacts that we've talked with the client about, and I know that not all of them will be traveling the same direction coming out of the camp, because we have to coordinate that with Texas DOT. So I know some will be coming out to the west and some will be going to the east. But it's not my job to know where they're going. I just need to know which direction they're traveling, so that I can make sure that we design the exit routes safely and handle the traffic.
Thank you.
You wanna?
I've got quite a few questions.
Go ahead.
As usual. Okay, so you said the drinking water has to be clear through TCEQ because as one of our speakers also asked, or actually commented, that it wasn't so much a man camp as an RV camp, which is subject to a lot stricter restrictions on their water. It has to be like, if you turn on a tap here in Van Horn, it has to be that safe, because we're talking about a safety issue. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, this will be what's considered a public water system because we serve more than 25 taps, and there are requirements in terms of our water treatment, our water storage, the pressure that we have to maintain in the system, and we will meet all of those requirements, including monitoring chlorine residuals, all of those. And I've already talked with TCEQ about that and confirmed that we're on the right path. They will provide assuming that our design meets their standards, they will provide a permit for the PWS, the public water system, for the man camp as we go forward.
So this considered an RV, will it have to be surveyed, platted?
We've already done a topographic survey and a boundary survey for the lease. I don't think we'll have to do a plat, other than what's already been platted. But yes, the survey has already been done, and we're in the process of grading the site already.
How long do you foresee the project to actually take before they move in, if they move in?
Construction, I think construction, once we have final construction plans, will probably take 3 to 4 weeks to complete.
Okay. As far as the septic aspect, the wastewater, what did you say? What was the plan on that?
Wastewater will be through a lagoon, and we don't know yet if it will be what's considered a total evaporation lagoon. In other words, there's no discharge, because Texas has a surprisingly low evaporation rate for a southern state. There's a possibility that we may need to do some land application, but that's it sounds scary, but it's very common to do land application from a lagoon. The water that comes out of there is very safe and has typically sat in the lagoon for a very long time. And after it sits in the lagoon for a couple of months, it's very safe. Birds are landing on it. Wildlife is drinking out of it. It's very safe water. So we're not entirely sure, but that lagoon will also be reviewed and permitted by TCEQ.
So it has to be treated like the lagoons we have here in town. And
Correct.
And
Yes.
the water, back to the water, has to be tested weekly like we have here in town?
That's correct. Yes. By a certified operator.
Okay, security. We just heard that there are going to be managers on site, but that's not exactly security in my eyes. We have probably, I believe, the third or fifth largest county in Texas. And we have the sheriff department currently employs, what, about 10 deputies and the sheriff to cover those thousands and thousands of acres, all the way down to the up to the New Mexico border and here. But what happens if there's an emergency in Van Horn and then we have an emergency down there? Aren't you pulling from our resources? Or do you have, or do they foresee having their own security?
Yeah, that's a reasonable question. Unfortunately, I can't answer that as the engineer, but certainly I'll pass that concern along to my client, make sure that they have a opportunity to answer it, either directly to you or in another way. But I don't know the answer to it as an engineer. I know access, water, and wastewater, and that's really kind of the scope of my contract.
Okay, back on, well, not back to, but addressing the medical costs. We have usually two, maybe most of the time one provider at the clinic. We have one provider in ER. Sometimes we have coverage from the EMS. All of them are from, most of them are from El Paso. How do you propose, are these people gonna be insured, or is Culberson County gonna have to eat the cost of medical care?
Yeah, same thing. I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that. It's not really in my scope, and I don't have a way to know. I'm sorry.
Okay, so.
But I will pass that question along as well.
Okay. Before I end, where are you from, Mr. Lewis?
I live in Helena, Montana.
Yeah, well, I was looking, I took the liberty of, no pun intended, of looking at your Facebook page, and I see that you enjoy a lot of outdoor activities, hunting, fishing, hiking. Do you have a man camp up there, or a wall up there?
We live relatively close to the Canadian border, yes. I haven't been there in a long time, so I don't know if there's a wall.
There's a Missouri River that you like to go and use a lot. Do they have a wall there?
I'm not aware of a wall on the Missouri River, no.
It is bipartisan. The wall affects Democrats and Republicans. If there was a man camp going up in, just theoretically, Helena, Montana, would that be okay?
I can't speak to that. I'm sorry, and I'm afraid I'm not here really to comment on that. I'm just the engineer for this.
No. This has nothing to do with engineering. Personally, you enjoy all the things around you. Would you like a 500 man camp here in your backyard? Personally.
Yeah, my backyard wouldn't be nearly big enough for a man camp.
No, I'm talking about not in your backyard personally, but across the alley from your house.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I like I said, I can't comment on that. It's really outside of my scope. I'm just here as the engineer. I was hired by.
I'm asking you personally.
Yeah.
How would you feel about
That's no feeling.
man camp? Right. You know, say within a mile.
I'm just here trying to do my job, and it would be unprofessional for me to answer that question. I'm sorry.
No, it wouldn't. How would it be unprofessional?
Because he's on the contract.
Well, you're asking me a personal question, and I'm here just doing my job.
Thank
So
you.
it would be kind of like, not in my backyard, but you, as an engineer, know the impacts of this project to a little town like that.
I can tell you as an engineer, as a professional engineer who is registered in the state of Montana, that I would feel very confident in the Department of Environmental Quality doing a very good job to ensure that anything that is constructed in the state of Montana meets the requirements of the state to ensure that it is not having a negative impact, and that the requirements that were established by the state were protecting the environment. And I have a lot of confidence in our Department of Environmental Quality to do a good job at that. The TCEQ, I've worked with them already, and they have expressed to me that they also have that same goal in mind. I've read the Texas Administrative Code extensively over the last couple of months, and I feel very confident in saying that the systems we designed in Texas for this project as it moves forward will ensure that the water we provide to the workforce housing will be safe, that the wastewater that we generate from that camp will be safe, and that the stormwater and access to the camp will comply with all requirements of the state. That's my job as an engineer, is to make sure that the people who live there are safe, that the environment that we are impacting is minimally impacted. And I can say with every degree of confidence that we're working very hard to make sure that what we design is is meeting all the regulatory requirements.
Well, I'm sure that's a great comfort, but, as far as the people that are gonna be making, that are gonna be working out of the man camps, or maybe will be working out of the man camps, where are they from?
I'm just the engineer. I'm afraid I'm not hiring those people. That's
But you have a
my
client.
client.
Your client knows.
Well, then call him.
Are they gonna be local, are they gonna be from Montana, are they gonna be from where?
I'm not sure.
Do they have criminal records? Do they use drugs? Drink a lot? What do we know about, these are gonna be our neighbors. I would like to know about my neighbor before they move in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm confident when they move in that they will be drinking safe water. I can tell you that.
Is there a hangover?
Luke, you mentioned, 911 addressing that you had, applied for one, or, repeat yourself, please. What did you say about the 911 addressing?
Yeah, we submitted an application for the 911 address, and we're in the process of getting that. We've been told it can be up to a 90-day process. Hopefully it's a little quicker than that, but we're working with Cody Davis to try to get those addresses in the system. And as soon as they are, then we will make sure that we get that to the fire dispatch, police dispatch, and everybody else who needs it, so that they are able to respond in a timely manner.
Cody works under my office, and
Okay.
he has not received an application as of today.
Okay, I will follow up with Cody.
Okay. Anything else, Commissioner?
Unfortunately, the Commissioner's Court just doesn't have the authority to approve or deny an application, Judge.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, thank you all.
Number 8.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Judge Brian Staley with the Paso County Domestic Relations Office. How are you all this morning?
We're here waiting on you. We've been here all morning
Yes,
waiting
sir.
on you.
Yes, sir. I'm good as well. I'm here with my senior trial attorney manager, Douglas, and we are here to provide a presentation this morning about a possible collaboration with Culberson County and the Paso County Domestic Relations Office.
Front and center, go ahead, sir.
If I can share my screen with y'all. Y'all able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So as I said earlier, today's presentation is on a possible collaboration between Culberson County and the Paso County Domestic Relations Office. So first, it's important to understand what a domestic relations office is. We provide services that are outlined under the Texas Family Code, services such as child support, enforcement and modification of child support, and access and possession. The access and possession is the time and court orders for parents to have with their children. We serve as a friend of the court. We provide community supervision services for those services associated with child support and access and possession. And we provide information to parties so they can understand complying with their court orders under an order from the family court. And we provide parenting coordination. These services are provided. There's an initial operating fee that's connected with the filing of such as a divorce, modification, any sort of filing connected with a domestic relations order. It's $15, and there's a possible, if there's a contract with the Attorney General's office, for an additional $36 for services for the individual's filing those services if there's a contract with the AG's office. So these are the counties that have domestic relations offices. They're not in every county. They're primarily, there's 8 counties that have bureaus in them, and we belong to the Texas Association of Domestic Relations Offices. There's 2, Wharton and Fort Bend County used to have bureaus. They were run by like one person, and they just, it didn't work out. But they're primarily in larger counties, and so that's the thought was that we're providing this service, and a lot of our services now are available online. We provide a lot of our services are available online, that we could be able to provide services to your county as well, your constituents. So, as I said, one of the services we provide is child support services. So there's 2 different types of child support services. There's the non-40 services. These are services that don't receive any sort of federal dollars connected to them. And there's an annual service fee of $36 per party with $3 a month that they would pay for that service for us to provide non-40 services. That involves opening a case at the state disbursement unit for processing payment, and any subsequent action that we may take on the case, like issuing an income withholding, enforcement, those are all available to the individuals at an additional fee. But, oops, get the slide off. There we go, sorry. The second is the 40. These are the cases where we have a contract with the Attorney General's office, and we would have to ask the AG if extending services, if we would be able to cover cases for Culberson County as well. They would have to authorize us to do that. But once we are able to provide 40 services, there's no fee associated with that because the 40 agency, the federal child support agency covers that. There's a $35 annual fee that comes out of the first $500 that's received. But the services that are offered, these cases are placed on the AG's computer system. It provides all sorts of enforcement action, tax intercept, passport denial, for people that are becoming delinquent on their child support services. There's no service fee for income withholding, stopping, enforcing, and modifying the child support order. So we also offer accident possession services. This includes education of their order, what the schedule is like. We provide facilitation with parties so that they understand what it is and try to get them to come to reach an agreement. We also provide modification on accident possession of orders. A lot of times what you'll have is individual will get an order and then the child will get older and it doesn't work anymore. And so then they need the order modified. Or sometimes it's just unclear. We've had a lot of times we get orders where they get a private attorney order and they'll say they want the exchanges of the child that happened at McDonald's, and it doesn't list which McDonald's. It'd be several McDonald's. So making sure that the order is clearly enforceable so that we can take it back to court, so that the parents are able to access their child parenting time.
And we conferred with the district judge that we would be filing these matters as the friend of the court. So we're not representing either party in these litigations. We're merely platforming the issue to the court in instances of modification where there has been a material and substantial change of circumstances, as Mr. Stanley articulated, or enforcement cases where we have verifiable incidences of violation sufficient to warrant bringing the matter before the court for the trier of fact.
We all, in addition to the facilitation, we provide education services. So, under the Texas Family Code, the Domestic Relations Office can provide information and education services on anything that falls under the Texas Family Code. So we provide cooperative parenting classes, getting parents that were once married to understand how they're going to now parent in two separate homes. Or orientation class, going through orders with individuals so they understand the terms of their order. We also provide a live question and answer sessions, and some represented litigant classes. So we go through it. A lot of times people don't understand the terms that are in the divorce decree. We also provide a mediation course. Before we provide mediation services, we make sure the individuals complete a course so they understand what's going to occur during the mediation, because we can't go over these concepts when we're providing mediation services for the parties. And we also have our self-represented litigant review of draft family orders. So this has been very popular here in El Paso as our self-represented litigant service. A lot of individuals try and go it on their own, or they'll pay, we've had people pay up to like $600 for a divorce decree off Instagram, and they'll get to court and the judge will be like, what is this? So a lot of times we were reviewing those orders for them to make sure that they are that they meet the criteria to be a final order before the court, which saves the court a lot of time, because a lot of our family courts are sitting up there trying to educate them about what they can and can't do, but trying to also remain in their position as judge and not give advice to them. And so this really helps the family courts advance their cases.
And both the live Q&A, the self-representative class, the mediations, and the pro se order review services are all with live attorneys. We do offer online classes, stuff where you can just watch a video and go on, but we also want to make sure that people have access to real legal professionals who can hear them out specifically. And again, while we can't give legal advice, we can't tell people what they should do in their case, we can at least provide legal information so they have the full context for everything that's going on within their case and the general family court process.
And our cooperative parenting class is conducted by our master level clinical social workers. So they conduct that in person and live, and like I said, we've had so many of our services now are available online, and so that's one of the reasons why we started thinking about extending our services out to counties like Culberson. As I said, there's mediation. We provide alternative dispute resolution. These are conferences conducted by our trained mediator attorney that works with parties, both on accident possession and non-40 child support services. And so they're trying to reach an agreement with them. A lot of times we get cases where there's individuals that they want a slight change, but it doesn't actually meet the level of going to court. But if they can reach an agreement, we're happy to mediate that and draft an order that they can submit to the court, or that we can submit to the court, excuse me. We also serve as the friend of the court. We have an appointment to all of our family courts as a friend of the court. This enables us to utilize non-judicial efforts for compliance. These are things like collection calls, requests for proof of insurance by the other party. These allow us to utilize, like I said, non-judicial remedies on those cases.
And we have attempted to implement sufficient protections that if a case needs to later go into court, there won't be cross-contamination of information via Chinese walls, as it's phrased in a lot of cases. So our attorney reviewing your pro se orders is down the hall and with 2 locked and coded doors between our litigation team and them. Our social workers are housed in another building. We are dedicated to keeping a strong integrity in terms of both the case processes and the information being passed around the office.
So our other service we have is community supervision. So this individuals are placed on community supervision after failing to follow their order, either failing to pay child support as they are ordered to do, or provide access and possession to the child. So this is in lieu of jail time. They report to the community supervision officer that keeps a record of their visits and works with them on budget management, conflict resolution, and parenting skills. The community supervision officer provide a report to the court as well and provide testimony to the court if they revoke their probate, their supervision. So if interested, Culberson County would need to first pass authorization of the creation of a domestic relations office, and El Paso County can draft a cooperative agreement that we can present to Culberson County for provide domestic relations office services, and we would need also to have a memorandum of understanding with the district clerk with the El Paso County Domestic Relations Office.
Okay, thank you. What is it you need from Culberson County?
So we would keep like resolution passing the authorization of the creation of a domestic relations office, and then we could also draft work with our county attorneys on drafting a contract or cooperative between the Paso County Domestic Relations Office and Culberson County, and as well as memorandum of understanding. I would need to speak to the district clerk about if they're using like iDocket, what their system is, so that we would be able to see what's being filed with family court, so we'd be able to see the filings and be able to file with them. But those are the things we could work on the MOU and the cooperative contract. We would also need the resolution by Culberson for the creation of the domestic relations office.
Can you send us a resolution?
Yes, for the creation of a domestic relations office.
Not only that, but the
I
MOU
do.
and anything else that you want the court to consider. Yeah, I know. Send it to my office and we'll talk to legal and the commissioner's support as a consideration.
All right, I can work on that.
Anything else, Commissioner? Legal?
I guess my question is, how are you going to service Culberson County? Are you going to have somebody come out here, or are you going to be, will this all be by Zoom?
So the majority of our services can be offered online. The only thing that we may need to come out for is enforcement, either on acts of possession or child support. Because of possible contempt, we would need to be able to come out on site to provide that services with our attorney. The rest, I believe we'd be able to provide those services online.
But we have both myself and our trial attorney, Mr. David Niedrower, so we'll be able to offer simultaneous coverage both here in El Paso and in Culberson.
Anything else, guys? Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Brian.
All right, Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. All right. Budget amendment. Ladies?
Budget?
We don't have any budget.
No budget amendments.
Approving monthly reports, they're in front of you.
I gotta look at them now, make a motion to approve monthly reports as presented.
Motion's on the floor, there's a second, all in favor? Unanimous. Treasurer's monthly report, treasurer's monthly report.
The fund balance for April 2026 was $15,654,320.72.
Need a motion to,
Make a motion to approve the county treasurer's monthly report as presented.
motion's on the floor.
Second.
There's a second, all in favor? Unanimous. Yes. 12, payment of bills. File item approved check listing.
Okay, so for the month of April, our payroll was $386,170.82, and our other expenses was $819,110.07, for a total of $1,205,280.89.
Thank you. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion on, when payment bills. Payment bills and filing the approved check listing. That was it, did I think there was? I thought it was that we're in. Oh, sorry. Payment bills and filing the approved check listing.
Motion's on the floor. There's a second, all in favor? Unanimous. Okay, 13, approving monthly investment report. Yes, ma'am.
Interest received for Lone Star for the month of April was $4,577.30. Interest received from Texas Fit for the month of April was $19,502.74. And the interest received for Texas Range was $9,336.38. For the total interest earned for April was $33,416.42. The Texas Range was $9,336.38.
I'll make a motion to approve the monthly investment reports as presented.
Motion's on the floor. Okay. There's a second, all in favor? Thank you. AgriLife, is AgriLife out there?
I don't think she's here.
No?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, Grant Ryder, Emergency Management Office, front and center, ma'am, you've been waiting.
Hey, how are y'all
Yes.
today? Okay, so just real quick and brief, we renewed the burn ban for another 90 days. So we need the auth for the judge, for Cody, and for Tina to attest. There is a fireworks ban for the upcoming holidays, Memorial Day and Juneteenth. We don't do a whole lot, but it's out there just in case peeps decide to start having whatever they do. Other than that, everything is pretty quiet. I don't have anything on grants. Cody will be here after lunch, and he will contact you guys if there's anything he needs to report.
Okay. Let's take, 8. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve renewing the burn ban for Culberson County as presented. Authorized judge has yes to sign and clerk will yes to attest.
Motion's on the floor. For a second, all in favor? Unanimous. B, order prohibiting certain fireworks in unincorporated areas of Culberson County for the Memorial Holiday.
And I'll make a motion to approve an order prohibiting certain fireworks in unincorporated areas of Culberson County for the Memorial Holiday, and authorize judge with yes to sign and clerk with yes to attest.
There's a motion and a second, all in favor? Unanimous. C.
I'll make a motion to approve an order prohibiting certain fireworks in unincorporated areas of Culberson County for the Juneteenth holiday as presented. Authorize Judge Diaz to sign, Clerk Diaz to attest.
Motion's on the floor. There's a second. All in favor? Unanimous, team. Thank you. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome, thank you.
Good job. No. I'll get it. IT. I know you've been busy, my man.
Yes.
I know you've been busy.
What's going on, guys? So we've been pretty much busy at the airport this whole time. We're kind of future-proofing the airport. We've had some requests for possibly, like making a door that will automatically open when it's recognized by license plates, or our cameras now have the ability to do that. With the AI that's included, those AI features that are included in our new camera system that we're installing. We found it a little troublesome just because at some areas that we needed to reach, we didn't have the capacity to reach upstairs, so we had to borrow a skylift from the school and stuff like that, or from the contractor from the school actually. But we got it done, so we should wrap it up this week, but we're kind of future-proofing it also for the firing range that will have some out there, and then possibly even the gate of the firing range that we're future-proofing that as well. So in case y'all do want to do the same type of automatic gate for either registered license plates, facial recognition, any kind of biometrics that we can install, we'll have the capability of doing that. So that's basically what we've been working on this past couple weeks, 3 or 4 weeks that we've been out there. So, but other than that, and then we're moving on to Veterans Park afterwards, and it'll have the same capability as well, in case you ever want to do something like that over there. So, but other than that, that's what we've been up to. Any questions, comments?
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you, thank you, that our park, like you did, the other conduit is good. Like I said, I have that one thing with you. I'll get with you today. It's not a big deal, man, but it's something that I want to.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
take
no
a
doubt.
couple of minutes. Or I can tell you, I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, send me a picture and we can figure it out.
So we can stay busy with it.
And other than that, I mean, besides troubles around the county, that's what we've been up to.
Thank you so much, man. Good job. Roland Ridge, yeah.
Morning, everybody.
Where have you been?
Staying busy.
Yes, sir.
We've just been working on cleaning cattle guards up in the north end, fixing a couple of rooms up there. That's about it. And then the two, I had one the back that went down. I'm waiting on the mechanic to come in and look at it. Something with the redoing. So the maintainer up there in the north one came up with something as well. So
did you want to look at it?
they're gonna look at it. I'm just waiting for quotes. So they can come out here.
This is the new maintainer?
No, the
second.
Okay, I think Harvey Drive operates the very first one that Tommy bought.
Okay.
The second one, I think the second oldest one, so not the new one, no. Other than the new one, usually it's really good, but stay busy.
You have all 3 of them going?
All 3. One here in Sunside area right now.
Whenever you see something wrong with them, jump on it, the way you did. Let's keep them going and get them service.
The backhoe is a little bit old, but the mechanic should be getting here from El Paso here in a little bit.
Okay.
And then we're gonna wait and see on that other one. The guy went up there to go.
You said the backhoe.
The backhoe
is a little bit old. Are you making a play for a new one? Budget year. Is that your intention?
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes.
How old is it though?
I don't know how old the backhoe is.
You don't need a long time. And then
But we had that other old one, and then they already have this one, but this one's very old.
Yeah, it's been there a long time. That was
It's up there.
second greens.
And it's still good, but it has a little, being old, it has a little.
You said you were working already in Sunset?
They're up there, yes. Yes, they're up there. in Sunset.
Saturday spot, and I said you were working on this place.
Yeah, they're up there. They just moved it this morning, matter of fact, so. But we're
I thought
waiting
you were
for.
going down this summer.
But other than that, just cattle guard and we took one cattle guard out, wasn't even being used anymore, so we brought it in, removed it from there and just been cleaning. So,
Getting out of the way of, construction of 2185?
yes. Yes. I understand.
How far are they, any idea?
They're good, 8-9 miles in.
Really?
So they go pretty fast up there too.
And I'm guessing the sprinklers got fixed, I saw my water bill drop.
Yes, yes, we got it. Trying to work on it. So.
Have they worked on that, whatever they want to do under that 2185?
That's taken care of, yeah, it was done real quick, yes. I talked to the guy, yes, it was done real quick, yes.
I was up there Thursday. Everything was good up there. Lobo, all that area. There's one heavy traffic area. I was hoping it rained a little bit where the farmers go behind towards Massey. Massey, whatever is back there.
Oh yeah, that's what they use a lot.
Yeah, it's a very
Jackson people use that word a lot. Yeah.
No moisture.
Yeah. That's what the
But other than that, there's good.
trying to get moisture, but
I was hoping
we'll get it someday.
Yesterday,
Did it rain out there in the north?
It did last week, very little, but not. I'm waiting for Harvey. Harvey went up there this morning, so we'll see if it rains this weekend. Other than that,
Maintenance of the airport is fixing to start?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. We'll get up there, well, actually, tomorrow we'll get on, move everything up there, start
Okay.
mowing and cleaning around.
What else?
Good work, Papa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Clerk's office. Hey,
Okay, we have a primary runoff election approaching with early voting starting on Monday, the 18th, and it'll run through Friday, the 22nd, with election day being, May 26th. So, I just need approval on the election judges and alternates for that election.
I'll make a motion to approve the order of appointment for election judges and alternates for the May 2026 primary runoff election as presented, and authorize the court to sign.
motion's on the floor, there's a second, all in favor? Unanimous. B, Commissioners Court minutes, October 7th through April 13th, 2026, October 7th, 2025, through April 13th, 2026.
I thought you didn't have to do that anymore.
Well, TAC is requesting that we put it on the website,
If we have it,
so
then go ahead and.
go ahead and just provide it this time.
I'll make a motion to approve Commissioners Court minutes from October 7th, 2025 through April 13th, 2026.
Motion on the floor, there's a second, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you guys. Okay, this is something we've discussed already, approving, paying invoices for, Dwayne Corrales in the amount of $12,500 and $2,800 for electrical work that was done at the airport. I didn't know was, but I have mine.
Judge, was not the EDC supposed to take care of that since it was their?
No, it was my understanding, what is the legal, is that they were supposed to look at certain things and we were supposed to consider, other projects that were done. And it's this one and the next one in line that the only ones that I've considered. The other ones don't have invoices for or anything like that. And because there's invoices, doesn't mean that we consider paying what we deem, good projects, that we consider paying, for. And I, at my, bill and maintenance individual, Mr. Luna, look at it, look at the work, and the work is there, that it was done, and, it's just a lot of work that they didn't get paid for.
So you okay to approve
You
this?
can pay or not pay, it is up to you. You're not, you are okay if you do not pay it, you are okay if you do pay it.
I was just worried about that we're held liable for that.
You're not held liable. it's a public policy issue, really, what it comes down to. If you want to, decide that this is as a matter of public policy, you want to make whole this contractor, you can. But it's not a, legal liability issue. It's a public policy issue.
Well, yeah, once they're paid, they're not gonna be able to pursue after this contractor, after the.
This contractor, once made whole, would not be able to sue anybody.
The only other reservation I had is, how many other contractors are gonna come forward knowing we approve these?
That's my thing.
Maybe another person's desk here, I don't think that's the best thing the county should do, but.
Is there any expectation that we may receive payment through from the EC since this was, work was done under their auspices?
Well, it was done by CCAV, not EDC, so EDCs don't really, I guess if the contractor were to sue, they would have to sue CCAV and then secondarily try to bring EDC into the mix. We would be third in line, but we have governmental immunity, which would prevent us from suffering any liability. Whether or not their lawsuit against EDC would be successful, I don't know, I really haven't looked at that. But their contract initially was with CCAV. And whether or not that would be successful because of the financial situation that CCAV is currently in, probably not. So that leaves that contractor most likely not being able to recover financially.
The work is done. It did improve county's airport.
I think really the issue, which makes it a public policy issue, is whether or not, or the consideration makes it a public policy issue, is whether or not it was good work or bad. And this is one of those things that as the judge said, that we believe is good work as opposed to like where they moved the fuel farm that is bad work because the fuel farm now is in the flight line. And that's an issue that now we're going to have to move the fuel farm again because that's in the flight line. So that was bad work.
I'm with Mr. Norman, if I don't get any more after this, I think that everybody should come forward if they have anything there. I mean, I don't wanna open up a door and everybody wanna get paid out of our pocket,
Always a valid consideration.
yeah. What do y'all feel about this? I mean, it is hard, really. It is hard, it works hard. It was an upgrade.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. A lot of that work is, will engage that, main door to the airport, to open and close, read, license plates, and or whatever we deem proper. The foundation is there because you ran all that, all the way to the gate. That's just part of the work that you did. I deem it as good work.
Did you go look at that?
You did a good job.
Did you go look at that?
The work was done, it's there.
Need a motion one way or the other, guys. It will be, if there is a motion to pay, it will be the amount of, I believe, 15
For what it's worth, I'm willing to go halfway since it's half of our problem and we own the building. That's good enough for y'all.
Marty, is that in the form of a motion?
About 7650?
I need a motion for that.
I got a question before, to abstain for the next item, you know, or abstain, because I don't know interest for the next item.
Okay. You can abstain on the next item.
Yeah, but this one.
I'd rather
On
you-
this one, it
yes.
says there's no interest. I mean,
Yes,
okay.
sure can. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve both of those invoices for half of the amount requested in the amount of $7,650.
It's some kind of payment, so I'll say that.
Okay.
I mean, it's.
Motion's on the floor for 7650, correct? There's a second. All in favor for just 7650? All against?
It's not plan, it's a no. Nobody made a motion, but no.
Well, it's coming.
I'll make a motion to approve, the invoices from Von Krause in the total amount of $15,300 for electrical work done at the county airport.
Motion's on the floor for 15-3.
I'll second that.
There's a second, all in favor? 3, all against? It passes on a 3-2 split.
Okay. The next one is work done cleaning from Jahaida Rodriguez in the amount of $450 at the airport. Never got paid. I wouldn't know if it was done or what, but because it was clean. And, I don't know, his, MO seems to be that, yeah, I mean, one of our security, our security guy, the company, who worked out there, or whatnot, and I know that, the company was owed much more than what we just paid. And, it took people to get it, he just didn't. I don't know, he had struggled.
It was just for 1 month?
I don't know.
I don't think it was a monthly deal, was it?
That's not bad. If you ask me, I mean, if they get $400 or whatever, that's, 450 is not bad. Is that one it, or?
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see no.
If you all agree, with Commissioner Precinct 2,
With his abstention, I need a motion, one way or the other.
Make a motion to approve the invoice from the Jahaida Rodriguez in the amount of $450 for clean shores at the county airport.
Second.
Motion's on the floor, there's a second, all in favor? Is it 3? One abstention. That's Commissioner Precinct 2. Thank you, guys. Okay, we're building a canopy, Culberson County, courthouse, on the north end, guys. It's a project. We set it aside, we agreed to it during the budget process, last year and whatnot. We have 2 quotes.
I don't, they were.
I do.
Yes.
You look at that one, you look at this one, this, come on. The bids are close. Yes,
For both sides?
to finish off, what wasn't finished.
Both sides?
Well, to finish off what wasn't finished and to complete this other side.
Looks like it's gonna be a full cover.
We'll need, IT to do something with, the cameras. That's all. Adobe.
Search the picture like that.
I do the pictures, I think there's no, they're gonna tell you about how much it is.
I have some.
That's just work, right? This is like whatever you've done prior.
Yeah, there's softball field stuff and garages and.
I think he just wanted to attach work that he's done here.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know about y'all, I'd like to give the work to locally, if possible. I think she's done work for you at Durham Park.
Yeah.
And a lot of work for me, but that's up to you guys. The business where the taxes will come back and.
I'll make a motion to approve the bid from Bernice Rojo B&D Energy Services for the construction of the courthouse canopy in the amount of $47,500 to be taken out of the projects line item.
Second.
Motion's on the floor. There's a second. I believe that, Mr. Hicks, I believe that the contract will have my signature.
Yes, sir.
Will it have, not Tina's, correct?
No.
On this,
With my signature.
is it gonna be like a half gallon or anything on it? Like,
We'll work something out.
okay, just to make sure, maybe.
Yeah, 50% deposit.
I didn't think about. There was a second on it.
Motion's on the floor.
A second.
There's a second. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, number 22. Originally I didn't put him on the agenda.
I asked for it, Judge.
What you asked for?
Because at the last Commissioners Court meeting, I said that I would report back to the Commissioners Court on my findings. So this is just something I'll report back to the Commissioners Court. At the previous Commissioners Court meeting, the judge had indicated to you that he had had a conversation with TAC and that they had indicated that the court could appoint someone to fill the position. That is a correct interpretation of the law. The Commissioners Court at any time can appoint to fill a vacancy. There's nothing that prohibits the court from filling the vacancy. That is correct. However, the issue is if he's appointed, there's no way to salary him. There's no way to pay him because when the court approved the salaries for that position at the last budget that we did, we approved the salaries. We set the salaries for the vacant vacant constable positions. We took up that issue without publishing that we were going to take up that issue at the very last budget meeting. And because we didn't publish that we were going to take up that issue before the very last budget meeting, the public, in order to be legally compliant, we have to publish the salary positions of any elected position prior to any budget meeting. And that was our very last budget meeting. We approved the budget without publishing it prior to that that meeting, so therefore we couldn't fund that position until the next budget year, which will be October 1st. So while the court can certainly appoint anyone to fill any vacancy in public office at the county level, he can take that position, he would just take it without salary. And also we are unable to provide a vehicle at this time in addition to what we already have, in addition to current fleet vehicles. We can't buy any additional vehicles. We can allocate any vehicles currently in the county to him, but not an additional fleet vehicle. We can't buy a vehicle for him. All of that can start October 1st. So with the new budget year, we can start with the new budget year October 1st, on October 1st, with salary, with vehicle, with weapons, computers, everything, full equipment. And we can do that based on the old year budget or with the new year budget. We just have to make sure that we discuss it and publish it.
And publish it in the paper.
Yes, sir.
The salary and.
Yes, sir, publish what we're going to consider prior to the vote that we take in the budget process.
Okay. There's something, for the court to consider, regarding, that constableship. Thank you so much for that report. So, the constable, precinct 4, I'm still after a constable precinct 4, guys. What we did with Olivia is she ran as a write-in. It's hard to get a constable, you know, it's hard, not anyone and everyone can run as a constable. You need to be T-Code certified and other schooling under your belt. What we did with her is, she ran as a write-in in September. And once, of course, you know, she didn't have an appointment, and I wouldn't expect a constable running as a write-in in precinct 4 to have an appointment. I mean, again, they're hard to come by, and now what we could announce, and those positions, and that constable precinct 4 would be elected officially in November, and would start in January with a solid salary. I'm talking to the audience here, but the same thing will apply with Jack, and they will be elected officials, and to be their salaries and their budgets to be approved by Commissioners Court as the law provides, wants us to, and legally we must provide that. Okay? Just FYI. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. County projects, guys. You know what? I've been needing to talk to you about the county project over there at Veterans Park. And talking to Brenda, we need, I know we have, plugins for RV, for, concession trailers and whatnot, we need smaller tins.
Okay.
Because, and I've got cash on it, we don't need to go out for bid, I can have it done in-house if you.
For one can, please?
Yes.
I'll give it to Brenda, then,
We get with cash, I mean.
oh, yeah,
we
we
can.
need it, cause we need it, both Brenda, her opinion, and Kaz's opinion.
I know you're running a little short, if you want that project to be considered by the court, we will, and pay it out of another line item. ¿Me
Oh, yes, sir.
But we do need those smaller 110s, because muchos tienen,
Yeah, it's small stuff.
yeah,
Small generator, stuff like that.
a lot of small stuff.
Yeah.
The tents, there's, Jay's always got a tent going, and they always be.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's just, they're draining it out. I'll agree with Council, we'll, have better power source for everything around.
I have money in my improvement.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang out to your offer.
We can handle it in-house.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out to your offer, I gotta go with Marshall, get the diameter for that canopy, and I think we can build one for a fraction of the cost that we got presented with before. But other than that, I mean,
Yeah, I can have Cass handle it in-house.
yeah, I'll get with them, and then we'll figure out exactly how much term we're gonna be pulling and stuff.
Okay.
Other than that, the painted fence came out pretty good, I know they went ahead and asked me about those, dumpsters, the trash cans, and then, hey man, painted, you kind of threw it in, and then one of the gates that the wind had broken it off. So they went ahead and hung it for no fee, and it looks great, so I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
Other than that, I got some stuff for Cass, for, Tata, I'll go with him, and then I have one of his guys go and pick up some stuff, for more passes for that park.
Anything, anything?
No, sir.
Just,
Yeah, you can do it, yeah.
just that we're gonna have, finally the dedication of the memorial, the monument for the veterans, the Vietnam War veterans, on May 25th, which is Memorial Day, more or less. We're gonna have Senator Blanco come down and do the actual dedication. He is providing the flag that was flown over the Capitol, for that occasion. We'll do it that one time and then put it back in the box and a certificate that goes with it to hang probably here in the courthouse. Talked to Joe Gutierrez from the Veterans Foreign Wars here, and he's gonna try to get an honor guard from Alpine to come down here and do the honors there. The judge has been very generous in offering to provide, just little picnics, hamburgers, hot dogs, that type of thing, to make it a worthwhile occasion, since, as y'all will know, the Vietnam veterans didn't get much of a homecoming when they got here. So.
Okay. Maybe we can buy the flags to place on the headstones.
Great.
Yeah, one more question. I think we budgeted 40 grand to help with the city event, right? What do we have budgeted? I think we recall for when we help out the events with okay. It is budgeted for.
It's gonna be at 10:30. Right by the gazebo.
I'll see what I get. Commissioner, anything?
No, I'm okay.
You okay? Okay. What time is it? 11:51. We are now in executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, legal 551.074, personnel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
We're back in regular general session.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It is 12:09. We are now out of executive session. No decisions were made in executive session. Are there any motions? Anything else to consider? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion's on the floor. There's a second. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Mr. Hicks, I had a real quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I was talking to your paralegal a couple doors down over the phone, and she told me that she didn't accept public records because her office is privately funded. Is that true?
Not privately funded, no.
It's not privately funded? So can you do me a favor and talk to her to make sure she understands that she needs to make sure she's open to the public and not refusing service to people?
She doesn't accept public records.
Okay.
I don't understand what you mean by public records.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna be making some records down for your office.
Well, our office doesn't accept records. We're not a record.
So I've had a hard time here in Van Horn getting public records filled out. Do you have like what the best way to do it then is? Mr. Adrian, we'll be talking to you soon, sir. Thank you.
We don't, our office doesn't accept records. We're not a record accepting office.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you're asking for.
Well, I would like for you to correct her as far as the her telling people that she's privately funded.
Well, perhaps you misunderstood or she misunderstood your question, but I'll make
If you
that
could,
clear,
please,
but-
sir. Thank you.
but
I
no,
appreciate
we
it.
don't accept any records.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Franco, where'd he go? You seen Frank? Did Frank come out here?
You walked out.
Oh, shit.
You barely walked out.
Have you seen Mr. Franco? There he is. Woo, that was faster. Yeah, I need to talk to you, sir.
You know what? I really gotta go back to work. I couldn't do my time for this.
When can we do this conversation, sir? I am free literally anytime.
Okay.
It's very important.
Camera, I'll have a conversation
Yeah, you're
with
going to
you.
be on camera, sir.
Oh, I can't.
Why not?
Can't just
Sir, this is very important to all the publics.
You can air it all you want.
So the sheriff, yeah, I'll go ahead and air it real fast. The sheriff is using his public vehicle to travel.
The meeting, yes, sir.
Yeah, did you know he had a job as a security officer?
I wasn't aware.
So I think you need to be held responsible, sir, as far as knowing exactly what are, because if the sheriff is using a vehicle here paid by the department and he's driving it out of town for a secondary job, I feel like that is a huge misuse of funds.
Yes, sir. I heard you in the meeting. I understand.
Do you agree with me?
You're a taxpayer, so
yes, sir.
That's entirely your deal, and I can't say yes or no on that.
Okay, sir. Well, I want to ask you to don't be approving him funds because I'm assuming he's using the gas card to drive back and forth. Do you?
I can't agree on that. I don't know if it's.
You don't agree on that? I would ask you, sir, as your position, please, sir, take this seriously and figure out for me what the sheriff is doing with his vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Because I know the sheriff doesn't have badging on his vehicles, and I think he likes to use those for personal use, and I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't think you would either, right? Do you agree that the sheriff shouldn't be using it?
Law, they have to be badged or not?
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
So what I'm asking, sir, is do you agree with the sheriff using his work vehicle for personal use, specifically driving to out-of-state work?
I wouldn't agree on that, but I don't know if he is or not.
So, sir, I'm asking you, can you please figure out exactly what's going on with that?
I don't think.
Please, sir, it's your I feel like it's your responsibility to know that the funds are correctly being put in the right place. And if the sheriff is driving out of state with a county vehicle to do a side job that he's getting paid from someone else, I feel like that's very inappropriate, sir. Can you look into that for me?
I can try.
You can try? Sir, we're paying you very good money for this position. I would appreciate you nail it for me. I need a yes or no if the sheriff is driving out of town with his vehicle or not.
I can try, but I can't.
You can try? All right,
think
sir, do your best. Do your best, sir, because we are all counting on you. Van Horn needs somebody to stand up, and we need a serious leader in this situation. And I understand you're not wanting to really take this as a responsibility of yours, but I would really appreciate it if you would, sir. All right. Thank you, Mr. Franco. Thank you. Okay, guys, Mr. Franco tried to get away on us. That was a quick one, but we had to sprint out there to get him. So he is going to check out for us the sheriff's misconducts.